Hey guys, my name is Zyberlock. This is my first tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to open up a port and do some port forwarding on a Verizon Fios Quantum Gateway router. The model for this router is G1100. The first thing we want to do is allow remote desktop connections to the computer you're planning to remote into. The first thing you want to do is open up settings, select system, down here selecting about, and down here selecting system info. If you're on Windows 7 and Windows 8, you will find this in the control panel, or you can, in the address bar up here, just type in control panels / system and security / system, and this should come up as well. Over to the left side of this configuration, a system panel, you want to select the remote settings. And here you want to allow remote connections to this computer. This is the first step. Once you have this, you want to have a static IP address assigned to the computer you want to remote into. If you have dynamic addressing and your IP changes on the computer, you might not be able to connect into. So you want to make sure you have a static IP address. So how we can do this is you open up your network and sharing center. So if you have this icon down in the bottom right corner, you can select open network and sharing center. Another way to get to this menu would be going to your start menu, going to settings, over here network and internet, selecting Ethernet, and network and sharing center over here. So those are just two ways you can get to this. After that, you want to select Ethernet over here. This details button shows your IP address, your default gateway, and your DNS server. If you already have a static IP address, you can go ahead and write this number down where it says IPv4 address. If you do not, you're going to have to set a static IP. And to do this, you select the properties button down here. Select Internet Protocol version 4, double click this, and you can manually set your IP address. Once you have that all set, we need to go to your router's configuration page or website. So open up a web browser. Mine is 192.168.1.1, and you see I am already in this page. Most routers have a 192.168.1.1 or a 172. something or a 10. something. If you do not know yours, you can open up a command prompt, type in ipconfig, and right here it says your default gateway. You just type that in your address bar and you should go to your router's configuration page. Also, if you do not have your login credentials, it is usually on a label somewhere on your router. The default login and the default username and password should be on a label on the router. Once you figure that out, you enter your credentials, and you should be in this main menu. Where we want to go to is the port forwarding section. So what you want to do is select firewall up here. You want to proceed, yes. On this section, select port forwarding. So this is where you have to pay attention. This is where we're going to create the rule to allow you to connect from a network outside of your home into your internal network or private network. In this option over here, this little menu, you want to select the IP address of the computer you want to remote into. So for this example, I'm going to choose my main PC, which is what I'm using right now. This is the computer I want to remote from work or from somewhere outside my home network. Over here, you want to select custom ports. Usually, I don't see remote desktop. These are default templates for different other ports or services. Since the remote desktop is not here, we want to select custom port. You want to select both, and in this box you want to enter port 3389, which is the default remote desktop port, and you want to hit add. Once you have added the rule that we just created, you should now be able to remote desktop into your computer. One way you can test this is opening up a remote desktop connection on a computer outside your network. So you can do this by holding the Windows key and pressing R on your keyboard and type MSTSC and hit OK, and a remote desktop connection should open up. You can also open up a command prompt, type the same thing, MSTSC, and it should open up as well. Now, in this field right here where it says computer, you want to enter your public IP. One way to get your public IP is going to Google and typing what is my IP, and it should appear right here. I'm going to block this off. I don't want anybody to know my public IP. You shouldn't want anybody to know your public IP either. So once you have that written down, you want to enter it. After you enter your public IP, you want to enter a semicolon, and then you want to enter the port number that we created or added to our router, which is 3389. Hit enter. Now you should get this box saying enter your credentials. If you have gotten this far, that means your port is working and you are getting access. Now you just need to verify that it's really you. You enter your login credentials. I'm not gonna log in. I'm not gonna attempt to log in because I'll be remote desktoping into the computer that I'm currently using. So if that might not work. And the next step is gonna be showing you how to port forward another port. So I will add that in a second. One last tip for setting up remote desktop. It is not recommended to leave the default RDP port 3389 open at all times for security reasons. What we can do is remote in with a different port number and forward that number to port 3389. To do this, we need to go back to the router's configuration page. So open up your browser, type in your default gateway again, and you should arrive at your router's configuration login page. Log in. Once you're in, select firewall, select proceed, select port forwarding over here, and what you want to do at this point is delete the previous rule we created, just so there won't be any conflicts. Delete. Now we're going to create a new rule. Over here, choose the IP that correlates to the computer you want to remote into. I'm going to choose main PC. In this section over here, you want to select custom ports, then hit advanced. For protocol, you want to choose both. Source ports, you want to leave it as is, and destination port, you want to specify. This is the port number we're going to use to remote into our network, our own home or private network. I'm going to choose port 5000. Down here where it says forward to port, we're going to specify and select port 3389. What's going to happen is we're going to RDP in through port 5000, and the router or the computer is going to forward that information to port 3389 or forward that connection to port 3389. You want to hit add. As you can see down here, you can see the rule. We're going to go in through port 5000 and they're going to be forwarded to port 3389, and we're going to connect to the computer that has the IP 192.168.1.12. Once you have this completed, what you want to do is go to a computer that's outside your network, open up RDP, Remote Desktop Connection application. Then you want to enter over here where it says computer, your public IP address. I'm going to create one, make one up, for example, 100.20.50.100. Once you enter your public IP, you're going to hit semicolon, or enter a semicolon, and you're going to put port 5000 instead of port 3389 like we did earlier. You want to hit connect. It's not going to work for me since I just made up a hypothetical IP address. But what you should see is a login page like we did earlier in the earlier example. Once that is all set and you see the login to enter your credentials, you should be all set. Now that is one extra tip, one extra step you can take. You do not have to do this. You can just leave it as is with port 3389, but for security reasons, you shouldn't leave that port open at all times. This concludes the tutorial. Feel free to leave comments down below. Feel free to subscribe, and thanks for watching. I will be uploading more content in the future. Once again, thanks for watching.